Good morning, this is Alamon, and this is Influence by Teremok Games. It's an Android game, turn-based strategy. It's kind of like a Risk title. We're going to play with 3 opponents on an extra-large map, highest level AI, but with darkness turned off. They do have a fog of war type setting. That's what I usually play with, but sometimes you can get into impossible situations if you can't see the map in advance. There can be choke points that you can't break through. Okay, here's a randomly generated map. We are in the bottom left corner with a blue guy. You see red in bottom right, green in top right, yellow in top left, and we have to beat everyone. This game is a lot like Risk. You start with, 2 points, 2 units, whatever you want to call them, and every round you gain a number equal to the number of cells you control. So right now I would gain only 1 unit, but by expanding, I'm now going to gain 2 units. Power up your cells. I'll put them both in that guy there. So looking at the map here, there's a pretty strong choke point in the middle. It's not an impossible choke point. There are sometimes impossible stalemates you can run into, but this is not a map that has any of those, thankfully. What we want to do is overwhelm red, just wipe red out of the game, rush forward to hold the choke point in the middle, and let yellow and green basically fight each other for a while we build up strength, and then we can go and wipe them off the map. So what I'm going to do is kind of come up here first so that red can't escape. And now you see I have an income of 7, red only has an income of 3. I'm going to pour everything into that one cell. Yeah, we'll cut them off there. So he's going to go left. So I think what I'll do is fill up that, and yeah, we should be able to finish off red this time. Ooh, not quite, but very closely. So if I just have 3 there, that should be enough. So now it's time for us to start sprinting toward the choke point. I hope that the volume's okay. There's no way for me to... Oh, man, didn't wipe him out. Okay. There's no way for me to really check that in advance, the volume levels. Okay. That's overkill, but I really want to get rid of red. Okay, you, and you. Take out red. I think it would be a good idea to start a little bit of a beachhead up here. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 5. Okay, this is a slightly precarious situation, but I think we'll be okay. It would be nice if there were a way to... So, okay, if you long press on a cell, it completely fills it. Other than that, you can only add things one at a time. It would be nice if there were a configurable button where you could say, that when you enable this button, now you're going to add 2 with a press. It would just make this a little bit less noisy and a little bit annoying. Alright, we should be able to hold our lines. Alright, so now it's time for us to start working on fleshing out the remaining cells. Alright, I'm very happy with that beachhead up there. We have a front of 4, and a front of 2 here. And because they didn't attack my front line here, I can actually use these cells to expand my territory. Right, then there's these, I think, is all that's left to use. Yeah, and it tells you when you're done, when it says at the bottom, touch here to end attack. That means you have no more valid moves. You can also see, by the way, the outlining of that, where it says touch here to end attack. There's blue, green, and yellow, and that shows the strength of each of the sides. So we wiped out red right at the beginning. All right, so now we have 76 to use. So let's say 1, 1, 1, 1, or sorry, 2, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, and 1. So that'll fill up all of the gray hexes. And now, I don't even know what my frontage is here, but kind of my very rough rule of thumb kind of trick is I will tap a cell the same number as the enemy next to it. So for example, let's see if I can draw on the screen here. So right here, there's a 3, so I would tap this 3 times. Oops, trying to turn that off, okay. Because it's very unlikely that they'll be able to defeat my 4 with their 3. Now here, you would think the same thing, I would just have to tap it 3 times, but there's another situation here. This guy is going to attack down here, and then he'll be 2. And he'll be able to attack again, so I'm just going to give that another 2. Down here, let's just pump that all the way up because there's a 4 and a 3. 1, 2, 3. There are 2 different 3s here. But actually, I think it's quite likely that this guy is going to attack yellow. Unless yellow moves first, I'm not sure. Whoops, I'm not meaning to be drawing over there. I'm trying this new screen capture features. 1, 2, 3. Right now I'm just making a basic front line here, and then I'll do some more finesse later. Okay. Alright, I think that should be enough to hold the line, and green is slightly weaker than yellow, but I think I want to hit yellow pretty hard, actually. Okay. Let's fill in all those empty hexes. By this point, we've definitely won, because we're going to have a massive income. At this point, I think I'm just going to start long pressing and just filling these up to the brim. Gonna make sure that I block those spots. So wherever they only have 1 unit, for example, right here, I know that my cells are safe in those 2 directions because he can't attack with only 1 unit. It's impossible. So as long as I can plug them up where they have multiple numbers, there is no problem. So I guess green moves first and then yellow moves. So maybe it goes blue, red, green, yellow. I'm not sure if that's always the turn order or not, but I suppose that could make sense. There are some strategic choices inherent in which one you attack with. So for example, in this situation I have a 3 and I have a 4. I want to attack with a 4 because it's, well, it was more likely to win. But also, if it does win, it's more likely you'll be able to carry on with the attack and not strand. Because one of the issues is, like here, I have 5 right here. I can't move those. There's no way for me to retrieve those. So you want to move as many units forward as you can as you go along. So you have to choose carefully exactly from which cells you launch your attacks. Yeah, we've clearly won this. But let's mop it up. One nice feature here, in a situation like this, I still have 84 cells I could assign, and there's no real reason for me to put them in any given place because, this is our entire front line up here. So I can just touch, it says touch here to end turn, and it just automatically distributes them randomly. Oops, there we go. This will be the last turn. Para! Alright, so that is Influence. I've been playing this game a lot, especially while listening to audiobooks. Well, for that, I keep the sound of the game muted. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's very simple, but the strategies actually get extremely deep. There are sometimes situations where you have impossible. Well, actually, this is actually a fair example. Something like this can turn into an impossible choke point if that, for example, were the only connection between the top and the bottom. You can get into a situation where, oops, sorry, not meaning to draw down there, where, as soon as you're able to break through this way, well, they have all of these full of power. They can smash right back, push you right back, and then it just keeps on going back and forth with no one able to make any headway. So that is kind of the one issue in this game. Sometimes it does generate maps that cannot be won, especially if you can't identify those choke points in advance and rush to break through them, which is why I'm playing without the darkness setting on. Anyway, yeah, good night, sleep tight, and don't let the hex grid bite. Bye-bye. Oops.